On this week's episode, we bring you news of Peloton's launch of bar classes.
And I had an amazing Pelo chat with Tony Sinkinson, aka Cinco, and much, much more.
Welcome to Pelo Buddy TV, your unofficial resource for everything Peloton. By the community, for the community. Here are your hosts, Mark O'Rourke in the UK and Amanda Siegel in the US.
Welcome to episode 8 of Pelo Buddy TV, the only show by the Peloton community for the Peloton community. I'm Amanda Siegel and I'm joined by my co-host, Mark O'Rourke. Mark, are you there?
I'm here, Amanda, raring to go. Looking forward to episode 8. It's going to be a lot of fun, I think.
It's going to be a bumper week. It's going to be a bumper week. Well, it certainly has been a fun week. I celebrated my birthday on Monday, and birthdays in the Siegel household is a big deal. Actually, I should rephrase that. Birthdays in Amanda Siegel's world is a big deal. And oh gosh, Mark, it was so funny. I'm so obsessed with my Peloton. Everything's Peloton. So, of course, I had to do a birthday ride because, of course, you have to do a birthday ride and you have to get a birthday shout out. So my favorite, Leanne Hainsby, was on English time and was doing her ride on Monday morning at, I believe it was 6:30 a.m., which wasn't too bad, but 6:30 a.m. And of course, I was going to stay up and do it at 1:30 Eastern Standard Time. So I did. I stayed up and was raring to go. And as I got on the bike at 1:15 a.m., after I had, done some things around the house, I had noticed it go from live ride to encore ride. And my heart sunk. And I was like,
and you
what am I
messaged
gonna
me, didn't you?
do?
I was waiting to get on the ride myself.
I messaged you, and in 2 minutes, my messages were going back and forth. Needless to say, I messaged Leanne, are you okay? We had discussed this about you doing my birthday ride. But it turns out that the London studio had some technical difficulties on Monday morning, and she was gutted. She felt so bad, exactly. But it was just so lovely. And she really, really did feel bad. So I jumped on Sam's ride at lunchtime and unfortunately did not get my birthday shout out. But as wonderful as Leanne is, she sent me a message on Tuesday morning and said, make sure you do my Latinx ride, which it did, Mark. It was fantastic. The ride was absolutely, the music was just palpable. It was amazing. Brilliant. But she gave me that shout out. So it felt amazing. And you know what, that's what we all, I posted it on social media, and the responses from the community was so amazing in just, everybody being so happy for me. And so that was my week. That was from the Amanda Peloton world.
Amanda, you look great for 40, by the way.
51 and fabulous, Mark. And I got to tell you, I said it from last year, everybody knows my journey. Everybody knows my story. Thanks, and thanks to the bike. So I'm so appreciative of all of that. So now we can put September 2020 to rest, birthday to rest, and we'll start counting again for next year.
It'll soon come around as well.
Exactly. It'll come around before we know it, right? It certainly will. Well, Mark, before we get started with the news, we'd like to let you know how you can keep up to date with all of our content across all of our platforms. Every episode, as well as breaking news items, is released on our YouTube channel. Just hit the subscribe button in the bottom right-hand side of the video and hit the notify button to make sure you never miss an episode.
And if you prefer to listen to us whilst on the move, every show is also available on the podcast platforms, on all podcast platforms. Just search for Pelo Buddy TV and hit the subscribe button.
And finally, we are on Facebook and Instagram, and we were really thrilled this week because we hit 10,000 followers on Instagram, and that's a huge shout out to Pelo Buddy. We were so excited how the community rallied around us, and we made it to over 10,000 followers, which is just fantastic. So if you search for Pelo Buddy, like and follow us on these platforms for all of the latest news.
And now let's get on with the rest of the show.
First, let's do a rundown of the latest Pelo news.
Well, Mark, it has been yet another very busy week with all things Peloton. This week, we saw the launch of the Peloton Barre classes with Ali Love and Hannah Corbin. They have added 10 classes to the on-demand library under the strength section. I've never done a barre workout, but definitely look forward to checking it out. My legs still hurt from the Bike Bootcamp classes that I'd added to my workout regime last week. So we'll have to see how the barre fits into my workout regimen again. There are an array of classes from 5-minute warm-ups to 10, 15, 20, and 30-minute classes. It's interesting, Mark, they had shared on the investor call that there were 2 new class types coming. Barre is one of them, and I'm really curious to see what the other one will be. Boxing, maybe? I've definitely seen a lot of buzz on social media that folks would really welcome boxing. And I know that there are a few instructors that have boxing training under their belt. One that comes straight to mind is Kendall Toole, who I love. I would love to see her offering boxing workouts. Would also love to hear from our community what you guys would like to see. So feel free to comment on any of our social media platforms to tell us your thoughts.
So, Amanda, on Tuesday, news broke that Amazon and Echelon had teamed up to create an Amazon Prime bike coming in just under $500. This news had caused Peloton stock to dip in pre-market trading. The day following, people began to notice the listing for the Amazon Prime bike looked identical to the Echelon Connect bike that had been available in Walmart for $500. Amazon provided a statement to Bloomberg stating that this was not a partnership and they weren't aware of what Echelon was promoting. This bike is not an Amazon product or related to Amazon Prime, an Amazon spokeswoman wrote in an email late Tuesday. Echelon does not have a formal partnership with Amazon. We are working with Echelon to clarify this in its communications, stop the sale of the product and change the product branding. As of today, the Prime bike is no longer listed on Amazon. Yahoo Finance had the CEO, Lou Lentine of Echelon, on their show. And he went on to say that they'd met Amazon at the Las Vegas Consumer Show last January. They apparently asked Echelon to create a $500 bike and agreed to call it Prime. Mr. Lentine said he had purchase orders to prove that. When asked why we could no longer find the bike on Amazon, Mr. Lentine said it's because they have no stock and therefore it's not up on the site. He went on to say that Echelon is different to Peloton as they offer bikes from $500 to $2,000. It does not look like a harmonious relationship between Echelon and Amazon, Amanda. I also get the impression that Walmart will soon have more to say on this. I think we have to watch this story being played out over the next few days and weeks, Amanda. I don't think this is the end of the story.
Yep, Mark, I think you may be right. Wow, that is crazy. Yeah, I did see some buzz about that. And I do agree with you, Mark. Will be so interesting to see where that goes. Well, back to Peloton. This week, we saw the drop of quite a few different featured artist series. There was Anitta, Keith Urban, and most recently dropped Gregory Porter. I'm a huge Keith Urban fan, so looking forward to jumping on that ride. I'll have to do it on demand as I was not able to on Friday night. Matt Wilpers is offering a run and Kristen McGee will do a yoga flow. With Gregory Porter, I believe it's just a yoga flow with Chelsea Jackson Roberts. Always fun to see which artists they pick to feature.
Yeah, I'm a great fan of Gregory Porter, Amanda. I love his music, so I'm looking forward to doing his series when it goes live. We have 4 new boot camps, Amanda, and Peloton announced that an additional 4 boot camps, bike boot camps, were going to be coming onto the on-demand library. A 30-minute core with Cody, a 45-minute full body with Jess Sims, a 30-minute lower body with Jess Sims, and a 30-minute upper body with Robin. There are now 8 classes available to choose from. And it's that's going to be really interesting how that comes out. I know you like the boot camps, don't you, Amanda?
I do like them. As I said, my legs are still quite sore from last week's, and I haven't dared to jump on another one. But I definitely want to incorporate it into my workout. I think that it's a wonderful, accomplishment of Pelotons to have added that onto it, something different.
And it's easier for you because you can twirl your screen round to the right direction now.
Exactly.
Whereas
it does make it
whereas
easier.
I can't.
Not yet.
We also have two different leaderboard updates this week. Number one, on the bike and tread, as a lot of you guys are aware from all the comments we received last week on pelobuddy.com, the Here Now leaderboard updated and removed names as workouts were completed. However, it now looks like the update has been rolled back and the old leaderboard behavior has been restored. Now, anyone in the class, when you start, will remain on there throughout the workout. The second change is the Here and Now leaderboard comes to the web. Peloton is making the Here Now leaderboard available for people taking workouts via the Peloton website. You will now see on the right-hand side of your screen everyone else taking the same class in the same way as you would when taking the class using the Peloton bike and tread. Amanda.
Mark, it's interesting because, for some folks that leaderboard means so much to them, and for other folks, and as I started, encouraging folks to get onto the Peloton bandwagon, one of the biggest questions they said to me is, will anybody see me riding? And I said, yes, you're on there. If you're on a live class, or if you're on a class that somebody else has done, they can be, but don't share your name with anybody if you don't want them to. Of course, that's what motivates me though. Getting on the bike and being able to see I have friends on there when I'm riding with you and the Chris's, I love being on there and being able to see that. So it's interesting how different people will react differently to these new leaderboard changes. But it is exciting that on the web now they offer that as an additional option. So that was some great news this week. Well, on to Instructor news. Once again, so much is happening with our amazing instructors. Robin was featured in People magazine, sharing her plan on remaining fit whilst enjoying her pregnancy. As we all know, the big reveal of Robin's Pelo baby was shared with the Peloton world a couple of weeks ago on her All for One ride. Robin hopes to empower women with her fit pregnancy, saying that she hopes to change the stigma that expecting mothers are limited when it comes to working out. She said, and I quote, "I feel like the conversation around pregnancy, especially an aspiring fit pregnancy, is one of the modifications. What can I do? What can't I do? And I don't believe in starting from a place of lack and limitations." Pretty profound and empowering words for sure. I know that there on the Peloton pages of women that are literally into their third and fourth trimesters, about to pop with these big bellies, who have continued working out. And honestly, for someone that never worked out when I was pregnant, I absolutely take my hat off to them. So good for Robin for encouraging women to, do it safely, to be able to continue working out safely. And it's going to be exciting to watch her belly grow and how it'll fit on the bike as she gets, more and more pregnant. We also saw the engagement of Jess King to her partner, Sophia Eurista. Huge congrats to them, and we look forward to, I'm sure, a spectacular wedding once life returns to some normality. Robin, Anna Greenberg, and Erick Jäger all celebrated birthdays this past week too. Erick took the celebration to the bike with an early German Oktoberfest party. I didn't do his ride, but the buzz was that it was definitely a party. The German community encouraged folks to do a swarm ride. They were told to add the hashtag Pelowiesen. They were to have a beer bottle instead of a water bottle. They were to ride in a traditional costume and post selfies of themselves. And then after the ride, they were all going to Zoom and drink the night away. Sounds like the Germans know how to have some fun, Mark.
Amanda, I've been over to Germany on lots of occasions, and I've been to a couple of these beer festivals, and I don't remember much about them, to be honest with you. but they're great fun, and it's great that the German community is loving Peloton, and it's fantastic.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to incorporating the German community more and more into our Pelo TV weekly reports, because they are, interestingly enough, a incredibly fast-growing community, and Germans are just the fittest folk that are out there. So this is going to be fun, and for folks to be excited as to what's coming up down the road on Pelo Buddy TV, because I think we have some nice surprises with the German community. So that will be really fun.
Watch this space, guys. Watch this space. And all those Germans who are watching our shows and our episodes, you're going to be covered a lot more in the future, which I think is going to be great. So the Pelo tip this week, Amanda, is how to watch YouTube on the Peloton bike. And I think we've got our own Chris Lewis, who's going to tell you all about it.
Today, we're going to demonstrate how to watch YouTube videos from a Peloton bike or tread. To get started, from the home screen of your Peloton, click on the More icon in the bottom right. It looks like 3 dots. From the menu that appears, click on the About option. A pop-up will appear. The next step is to tap 7 times on the bottom right of the pop-up. Clicking more times won't hurt anything. If done quickly enough, the pop-up will go away and you'll now see a black screen with a list of Android apps. Click the icon titled WebView Browser Tester. This will open a web browser. From here, you can go to any website, but we'll now type in youtube.com. Once YouTube loads, you can click on any of the videos on the home screen or tap the search icon. We'll search for an artist's name and pick a result from the autocomplete menu. Once the page loads, clicking on a video will start playback, just like YouTube would on your phone or laptop. Tap the screen once to bring up the options to pause the video. When you are done watching your videos, simply click the large Peloton logo at the bottom center of your screen to go back to the normal Peloton interface. Unfortunately, you are not able to record your metrics at the same time you are using YouTube. There is also currently no way to do a split screen of a class and a YouTube video.
Let's get to know another person behind the leaderboard name in Pelo Chats.
So now it's time for this week's episode of Pelo Chat. And I'm really excited to welcome a friend of mine in the Peloton community, Tony Sinkinson, aka Sinko. Are you there, Tony?
Hi Mark, great to see you, and thanks ever so much for having me on the show. Really excited to be talking to you today.
Great to have you, Tony. We've been following one another for some time, haven't we, in the Peloton community, amongst different Facebook groups, and I love to look at your posts, and certainly the recent post, which we'll go on to in a little bit, was fantastic, and you can tell everyone about that. But maybe first of all, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, thanks, Mark. I'm Tony. I'm 47 years old, and I'm married to my wife Sue. We've got 2 boys. Josh is 18. In fact, we dropped Josh off at university on Monday just gone, so he's just left to go to uni. And we've got Callum, who's 13 as well. I work in retail. I'm an area manager and look after a group of stores. And I love that very much.
Brilliant, yeah. And what I alluded to a little bit earlier was, your story, Tony, is tremendous. We've had some great guys on Pelo Chats previously. I don't know if you saw George Henderson, Alan Bates, and these guys have, they talked about quite a lot of weight loss during their period of purchasing the Peloton bike, and then their journey through to the present day. And I know that your story is an incredible one. So I'm sure the whole community around the Peloton world waiting to hear it. We've seen the pictures on a Facebook post that you did a couple of weeks ago, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, it ran into, was it over 5,000 reactions and loads of comments, Tony? Maybe you can tell us your story.
Yeah, thank you. Well, my story began back in 19 assessment, and I've got to be honest, the results of that assessment were terrible. I'd found myself being extremely overweight. I weighed 17.5 stone, and I'm not tall, so I'm only 5'9". I had high blood pressure, high cholesterol, my BMI was high, my blood results were terrible, and it was a shock. and it crept up on me, if I'm honest with you, but that was the turning point when I realised I needed to do something about it. So I did, and I set about losing some weight first initially, through changing my diet, improving, the things I ate. I went from a kind of high fat, loads of takeaways kind of diet to a really, balanced, low sugar, low fat, low carbohydrate, high protein diet, and I really focused on that. And between, I think it was May 2019 and December of 2019, I'd lost 102 pounds, which is a little over 7 stone, and
that's just amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, that was really the start. But to be honest, when I say that was the start, I got our bike in, I think it was the end of September 2019, and became obsessed pretty quickly with riding the bike. And that really supported what I was trying to achieve. So firstly, I wanted to lose weight, and then secondly, I wanted to get fit. And that's where the bike came in, and very quickly became obsessed with the whole Peloton platform, from riding, which is my absolute passion.
Yeah.
But I was trying things, Mark, which I'd never even considered before, like meditation and yoga and running on a treadmill and all of those different things which Peloton brings. And
yes,
it's been life-changing. So
incredible. Well, listen, I know that my co-host Amanda really wanted to be on this chat tonight, and I know you interact with Amanda too, and Amanda's also got a great story, which
she has.
We said to Amanda we wanted to do, we want to have her on Pelo Chats, even though she's a co-host with me. One week we're going to do a Pelo Chat with Amanda, because her story's a great one too. And so how did you find the bike, Tony?
Well, it was amazing. I'd ridden on a spinning bike using the app for a couple of months beforehand, because it was such a big investment to go and buy a bike. I wanted to be sure that we were going to get the most out of it, so we used the app for a while first, and I very quickly realised that I wanted all of the amazing stats which you can get through the screen, and we ended up getting a bike, and we've not looked back since. In fact, we ended up, my wife and I, Sue, we ended up kind of bickering who was going to be on the bike, because we very quickly kind of found we liked the same instructors, we wanted to ride at the same time, the same swarms. So we
have to buy a second bike, Tony, maybe the Bike Plus.
We did. We bought the second bike. So we've got to, and we've not looked back since. We love riding together in all of the live rides and in all of the swarm rides, and it's been a big part of the support, to continue to keep the weight off.
Maybe a third bike, Tony?
Who knows?
I noticed you went into one of the stores, the new store that opened in Birmingham, in England, a few weeks ago. And you, I think you were impressed with what you saw. Yeah,
I mean, I love all things Peloton. From the studio to the stores, to the products, to the content, to the instructors, to the community. And I went into the store on the day it opened, and
wow,
had a chat with the team there, and it was just brilliant. I loved it.
Great. And I know you've got a really cool studio at home. And I think you've posted some pictures, and there's some backdrops, and it looks amazing, Tony. So clearly you've spent a bit of money and a bit of time organising a great sort of room and location to ride the bikes.
Yeah, we're pretty lucky at home where we've been able to dedicate a bit of space to it, and we've wholeheartedly embraced, the Peloton sort of setup, and ride away till our hearts are content, riding in the live classes, and it's brilliant. We
fantastic. Tell us about we talked about the community, the Peloton community earlier. Tell us what are your feelings over the Facebook community? So I know you play quite a big part. You're an administrator, I believe, in Ben's army. with Nick Hilton and Charlotte Samuelson, two great guys. And yeah, I know you've been doing that for a while, I think. Is that right?
Yeah, I think the community is incredible. It's such an amazing place where, you know, you can be supported, you can share your own stories. I've been inspired by so many of the amazing posts which I read, and I read them all. And you're right, I am an admin in Ben's Army, and you know, it's a brilliant sort of place to, you know, go and, you know, chat and support one another, riding swarm rides, riding live. And look, I think the community is, in some ways, you know, for me, more important than, you know, the bike, and I just love, you know, what that brings.
Well, we love to see you in the puck community, and we also love to see you in the official community, and yeah, intermingling throughout all the communities. It's fantastic. I think it's what this whole ethos of Peloton is for me. The bike's great, and I love the bike. The bike's behind me, as you can see. But the community and getting to know people and interviewing people like you and the guys that we interview from week to week, and getting involved in Pelo Buddy TV has been amazing. Chris Giles came to me a while back and said, look, I've got this concept. I think it's a great one. And I was 100% for it. And this is the 8th episode, 8 weeks on. And we're starting to get a real following and thousands of viewings each week when it goes out on a Sunday. And I know that if I'm not mistaken, you've watched every episode, Tony?
Yeah, I've watched them all. I enjoy watching them. I think the content's great. I love the Pelo News, where you can be brought right up to speed with everything that's going on in the Peloton world. And it was great when you were talking about the Peloton Tread, which is coming soon. And
yeah.
Trust me, I'm going to be the first to place my order.
Brilliant. Yeah, that'd be great. So listen, great talking to you. We normally end the show with the 60-second descent and recovery. And as you're an avid viewer, Tony, you'll know what that's all about. I'm going to fire off a number of questions to you, and I want you to give me your answer. And let's see if we can get them all answered in 60 seconds. So are you ready, Tony?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
Okay, mate. First question coming up. Bike or tread?
Oh, bike all day long.
Original bike or Bike Plus?
Original.
Okay. High cadence or high resistance?
High cadence.
Early bird rider or night owl?
Early bird.
Yeah, same as me, mate. Meditation or strength training? Well, yeah, you talked about meditation earlier, didn't you?
Yeah, I prefer strength though, Mark.
Oh, do you? Okay, mate.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Live or on-demand classes?
I love live.
Yeah. When was your first class, Tony? Do you remember?
It was early 2019 with Alex Toussaint. It was a 45-minute club bangers ride. It was hard.
Brilliant. They always are the first rides. Favourite class ever? We're running out of time.
Oh, easy. Ben Aldis, Ministry of Sound. Awesome.
Yeah, got to agree with that. Brilliant, Tony. That's fantastic. Well done. That went really well. I've got a couple of questions left, but we've run out of time. So we'll use those next week on the next episode. So listen, one of the most important questions I'm going to put to you during Pelo Chat and to all our guests is that you have to give us your leaderboard name and tell us a little bit about how you chose it, Tony.
Yeah, my leaderboard name is Cinco, and it's an easy one because it was my nickname when I was in school, so that was easy to choose.
That wasn't difficult, was it? And you've probably got a whole bunch of new followers now come future rides. And look, Tony, it's been a pleasure talking to you. Thanks ever so much for coming on. And as I often say to every guest that comes on, we'll have you on again. If you'll come on again at some point in the future and update us with your progress, you'll have had the tread by then, so I'm sure you can tell us all about the tread, being one of the first tread owners in the UK. Yeah.
That's great. Thank you.
Thanks again.
It's time to celebrate our fans' milestones with Pelo Shouts.
Atomic Blonde 1, happy 950 rides today, my friend.
Before we hit this, I want to give a massive shout out to my brother Cinco. 1,400 today. Let's do this, my friend. Come on.
Seglo 3, Happy belated birthday to you, my friend. Come on.
We got Andy L. Happy 200, Andy. Come on. Gonna make you up for that 200 today.
B_1. 50. Ride, herzlichen Glückwunsch. Bambu aus Duisburg, Bambu 7. 50. Ride, herzlichen Glückwunsch. Billy Bambo, happy 200 today.
Far from fast. Happy 100. I beg to differ. I'm clipping mental. I like that. Buddy Bird UK. That is such a cute photo you've got on there. I love that.
Did you hit a milestone this week and get a shout out by your favorite instructor? Don't forget to let us know.
So, Mark, it was another jam-packed week of all things Peloton. I'm certainly excited to try out those bar classes.
Yeah, and I really enjoyed talking to Tony Sinkinson, better known as aka Cinco, and I really loved his story, an amazing story. Listen, don't forget that this show is made by the community for the community. If any of you have any stories you'd like us to cover, then please email us at tv@pelobuddy.com or message us via social media.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for watching, guys. See you soon.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Thank you for watching Pelo Buddy TV, your unofficial resource for everything Peloton. By the community, for the community. Don't forget that we have a podcast available so that you can listen to us while on the move. Just search for Pelo Buddy TV on any major platform and hit the subscribe button to never miss an episode.